Hello, everybody. Happy Halloween, and welcome back to another episode of the Extreme Mediocrity Sports Show. As always, I'm Koby. We got Mike with me. What do we got going on, man?
What's going on, man? Another good episode cooking up, where we're gonna get some picks going. Hopefully nobody got into any tricks, but maybe some treats. We'll see. But yeah, another good episode lined up for today.
Yeah, I'm ready to get into it. Week 8 had some surprises and some good games. The NFL season is continuing to deliver.
hmm Yeah, and as we look back on week 8, uh, I just made up one game. I tried to do a little more, but uh, but last week was kind of tough to kind of decide. I mean, Jets pulled
Yeah,
out a close win against the Bengals, and then also we tried to go with the Cowboys, and the Broncos ended up pulling that one out. But another week to look forward to making some good picks. First game we could get started with was the Ravens and Dolphins. This was a pretty good game for the Ravens side. Ravens ended up crushing the Dolphins 28-6. This was in Miami. Dolphins looked like they have been looking. They couldn't really get anything going. I know Tua, that he was working, trying to come back in this game, so he had to throw the ball a lot. But Ravens seemed like once they got Jackson back, they kind of got everything rolling. He threw for 4 touchdowns. Henry over
Mhm.
100 yards. So Ravens look really good in this game.
Yeah. Lamar came back and made an immediate impact on the game. I think that helped get Derrick Henry going. But teams have been running the ball great on Miami all year. Uh, However, week 7 they did kind of stifle the Atlanta Falcons.
Mm-hmm.
But yeah, Lamar came back. You can see it right there: 4 touchdowns and only 5 carries for 14 yards. So coming back from injury, I think that's what you wanted from him: to stay
Mm-hmm.
more in the pocket, make the plays he needed to, and not run around and risk another injury. But yeah, this one got out of hand early. Miami was getting called for false starts on 4th and short, missing field
Mm-hmm.
goals, and this is the Miami Dolphins that we've been watching all year. And you look at Miami going uh, to Buffalo next. That's it's not getting any easier for them.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to be a top 5 pick next year for
Yeah,
sure.
for sure. Yeah, definitely. Ravens, I mean, everything was kind of working. The defense was holding up pretty well. The Dolphins, they did drop a lot of passes. They didn't help out too at all. But yeah, Lamar, he kind of spread the ball around, got his tight ends involved for some early touchdowns. And like you said, he just sat in the pocket and didn't have to rely on his legs as much. So definitely a big win for the Ravens. Hopefully they can continue to get back on track and fight in that close division in the
Yeah.
AFC North. But what we have all been waiting for this week is our week 9 game picks.
Mm-hmm.
Um, got a few teams again on bye week, also 4 teams, your team being one of them. Um, but
We
yeah,
need
we'll
it.
get right. We'll get started with the first game: Falcons at New England Patriots. Patriots being favored by 4.5. Um, This one was, I mean, a couple weeks ago, I would have looked at this game and would have said that, it probably was going to be a more contested game. Falcons was on the rise. That Bijan was looking like the best running back in the league. The defense was playing well, flying around, but they've since just kind of plummeted a little bit. Just came back to themselves. And the
Yeah.
Patriots, they're still looking like the best team in that division, fighting with Buffalo. So this one is kind of easy for me. I'm going to take the Patriots at home.
Yeah, I have the Patriots too. Uh, I don't. I didn't realize last week that Michael Penix wasn't going to be out. Well, that was going to be out, and that was
hmm
just a Kirk Cousins show. I don't know if that's why the offense stalled out the way it was. I feel like Kirk Cousins is a veteran. He still should have been able to get like Bijan involved, and so.
hmm
But I mean, that was a huge setback. I expect Atlanta to bounce back this week, but they will be trying to bounce back against the Patriots, and they are rolling right now. Like you said, they're competing with Buffalo for the top of that division. So I like the Patriots at home.
Mm-hmm. Next, we have the LA Chargers going into Tennessee playing the Titans. Chargers being favored by 9.5. How do you see this one?
This one didn't take a take a whole lot of thought,
Yeah.
but I mean, don't get me wrong. There's games every week we say this. We're like, oh, this isn't gonna, but we have been wrong. We are, well, I'm guessing I am not wrong on this. I am going with the Chargers to go into Tennessee. Uh, the Chargers have found something in the run game, and that's what we talked about at the beginning of the season with Hampton and Harris. Developing a run game, taking the pressure off Justin Herbert. But now they seem to find something with Vidal, and I don't know. This Chargers team looks different right now. I think it'll be an easy win for them in Tennessee.
Yeah, you can say we. I'm definitely on the same side of picking the Chargers. I just don't see the Titans pulling this game out. They still need some pieces. Cam Ward, I mean, he showed some flashes that he could be a good quarterback in the future, but still a lot of issues with that team. And the Chargers, I mean, they have surprised me a couple times early on in the season where I thought they would get a win and they didn't. But this is a game where they shouldn't drop. So I'm also picking the Chargers in this one. Next, we have the Bears at Bengals. Bears being favored on the road by 2.5. How do you see this game shaking out?
Earlier in the week, Joe Flacco was questionable. They did not know if he would be playing, but Grandpa Flacco is playing this game, and I think that elevates his offense. I hate to say it because I did not see an elevated Cleveland offense when he was here, but he does seem to be getting into a rhythm with Chase and Higgins, and the Bengals offense has just been stepping it up. I know the Bears have been clicking a little bit too, but I don't know. There's just something about Caleb Williams I'm not completely sold on yet. I mean, he's still young. He can figure it out. And I think if like Trey Hendrickson and those guys can get some pressure on Williams, I don't think they're going to be able to keep up with the Bengals offense. So I am going with Cincinnati.
Yeah, I do think this game is going to be a close one. Like you said, Flacco looks like he'll suit it up this week, but I'm going to go with the Bears in this one. I think that they're that surprise team in the NFC that's going to compete a lot this season and come close to making it to the playoffs. So with that offense, defense, Caleb trying to prove himself, I think that they'll get a win against Cincinnati this week. I'm going with the Bears.
Yeah, that wasn't a super easy decision to make, especially with some of these other games we have. But I could see that game going either way.
Yeah, for sure. And next, we'll get into the Indianapolis Colts facing the Pittsburgh Steelers. Colts being favored on the road by 3.5. This is a good game. It's really a game that Pittsburgh needs. They battled last week against the Green Bay Packers and just couldn't pull it out. But I just can't see them pulling this game out against the Colts. Colts is just on another level. They're in that top tier in the league. Even though they're on the road in Pittsburgh, it's going to be a tough environment. It's just something about this Colts team that it's hard to pick against them right now. So they have everything going, passing game, running game. It's just hard to it seems like if they try to take away one aspect of the offense, they're just going to use something else. So I'm going with the Colts to win a close game against the Steelers.
Yeah, I don't really like picking Pittsburgh in any situation. I did pick them last week, just Aaron Rodgers versus the Packers, getting a win against all the teams. And I'm not picking them again. I'm definitely not picking them against the Colts. Like you mentioned, the Colts have two MVP candidates on their offense right now with Daniel Jones and Jonathan Taylor. And I think the defense has been playing solid this year. Over the last couple of weeks, they've been getting a rookie tight end, Tyler Warren, involved. And Yeah, I just think it's too much firepower for. I'm not going to say a struggling Pittsburgh defense, but it's not the dominant Pittsburgh defense that we're used to. So,
Mm-hmm.
Indy going into Pittsburgh, getting a win.
Alrighty. And next we have the San Francisco 49ers facing the Giants in New York. 49ers being favored by 2.5. Um, this one, if it was a couple weeks ago, I probably, would go with the Giants in this one because they were just on a uptick or on that rise. Everything was kind of working well for the Giants. But with Scatterboo being injured, I think they're still going to need to find another like his replacement at running back to take the pressure off of Dart. So even though they're at home, I think the 49ers is going to do enough in this game to get a win. I think it is going to be close, but I'm picking the 49ers in this one.
Yeah, I really took some time to think about this one. Like you mentioned, Scatterboo being out, but then they're throwing Tracy right back in the mix, and he was pretty solid last year. And so I thought maybe this is going to be like a big team effort. Like, hey, let's go out there, let's get a win for Neighbors, let's get a win for Scatterboo and all these guys. But yeah, I still like San Francisco uh, on the road. Uh, Christian McCaffrey is being Christian McCaffrey this year, and yeah, I don't know. This was tough, and even like as you were talking, I was thinking about maybe switching my pick, but I
Mm-hmm.
do like the 49ers as well.
All right. Next, we have the Denver Broncos at Houston Texans. Texans being favored at home by 2.5. How do you see this game playing out?
I had no idea the Texans were favored at home. I picked
Mm-hmm.
them to lose last week. You've been riding with them all year. They finally came through. Finally came
Mm-hmm.
through for you, and hopefully you're riding with them this week because I am taking the Denver Broncos.
Hmm.
Bo Nix, that offense is heating up, and the defense has been solid all year. I think if it is a close game, the Broncos proved a couple weeks ago when they played the Giants that when they need to make plays, they make them.
Mm-hmm.
This is on repeat. Good teams find ways to win, win games, and that. So I do think if the Texans can keep it close, I I think the Broncos just I don't know, just they have that edge. So I like the Broncos.
Yeah. This is one of those close ones too. Even when you were talking, I was thinking about switching my answer, but you were right. I'm going with the Houston Texans
Mm-hmm.
to pull this one out at home. I think the Broncos are still dealing with some injuries. I know Surtain is out. I think that a tight end and maybe a receiver is dealing with something. But even with Bo Nix playing at a high level, I think that the Texans are going to ride that win last week into this week and continue that on. So I know it's going to be a close game, but I'm going to hopefully put my faith into the Texans and see if they can get me a win this week.
Yeah.
Next, we have the Minnesota Vikings at the Detroit Lions. Lions being favored by 8.5. Yeah, this one, I don't need to waste any time on this one. Detroit Lions will win this one. Don't see it. This should be J.J. McCarthy's return. So with him coming back, his first game back being against the Detroit Lions in Detroit, not a good environment and team to play against. He'll still be trying to get his feet under him, and I'm sure they're going to throw a lot at him. So, and he'll probably have to play from behind. So, definitely going with Detroit in this one.
Yeah, I knew Wentz was out, and I knew they were talking about McCarthy coming back. And yeah, I was like, I don't really think it matters who they have in at quarterback. It's either going to be someone who hasn't played in a long time or
Yeah.
McCarthy coming back from injury, and that's just a tough spot for either situation. Yeah, the Lions should be able to get after him. And you said playing from behind, he's probably going to have to throw the ball 40, 45 times. I mean, yeah, he's throwing to Addison, Jefferson, Hawkinson, all those guys. But
Mm-hmm.
I don't think that's going to matter. Give me the Lions at home.
Yep. Next, we have the Carolina Panthers going into Green Bay. Packers being favored by 13.5. I do think this one will get out of hand. I think the Green Bay Packers should win this one easily. Not wasting any time. I got the Packers in this one.
Yeah, I didn't look at the spreads for like any of these games when I was picking. I just wrote them down and just used basic common knowledge for. But yeah, 13.5. You said it could get out of hand. Yeah, I mean, the Packers offense is starting to get going again, and yeah, Micah Parsons and that defense have been solid the last couple of weeks. I think Bryce Young is going to have a rough game, just a rough day in general, a Panthers rough day in general. So yeah,
right.
Packers by they'll probably should cover.
Next, we have the Jacksonville Jaguars going up into the Vegas Raiders house, and Jaguars being favored by 2.5. How do you see this game playing out?
And the Raiders have just been terrible. They brought in Geno, who was doing fine in Seattle. They brought in Coach Carroll. They just signed Tyler Lockett. They're starting to get like their core Seattle guys back. Ashton Genty had all these high hopes, but yeah, the Raiders have just not been able to get anything going. I know Jacksonville's without Travis Hunter, but they've been pretty good at running the ball this year. Defense has been able to get after the quarterback, been solid. So I do like Jacksonville going into Sin City and getting the win.
Yeah, I was still going back and forth with this game, but I agree with you. Even without Travis Hunter, I think that Jacksonville is going to go into Vegas and win this one. So yeah, I'm going with the Jaguars as well. Next, we have the Saints traveling to LA to play the Rams. Rams being favored by 14.5. Good God. Yeah, so I would ask you, how do you see this one playing out? But I already know. What do you think?
Yeah, this is the return of Puka, and the Saints are moving forward with their rookie quarterback. It's hard to really pick the Saints any week, but yeah, against the Rams, I don't think this is going to be close. And I know Chris Olave's name has been kind of thrown around in some trade rumors, so I don't know if how much playing time he'll get. Not that it would really matter, but yeah, Rams by I'm gonna say 17. I don't know.
Yeah, it's going to be a lot for sure. Next, we have the Chiefs facing the Buffalo Bills, a game we've been waiting for this season. And Chiefs being favored on the road by 1.5, which is crazy. How do you see this one shaking out?
Earlier in the year, I was picking Buffalo against any team they played against, and whoever Kansas City was playing against, I was picking the other team because the Chiefs weren't the Chiefs and the Bills were definitely the Bills. But now, over the last couple of weeks, we're starting to see the Chiefs are the Chiefs. Rashee Rice coming back has really elevated that offense. Patrick Mahomes is looking like Patrick Mahomes. The Chiefs and the Bills are always a big showdown, but yeah. I am rolling with the Kansas City Chiefs on the road. And I know every time these teams meet, Buffalo normally wins the regular season game, and then the Chiefs win the game in the playoffs. But I also planned on you picking Buffalo, so that made me lean a little bit towards Kansas City as well.
I'm glad you planned ahead because I am going with the Buffalo Bills in this one. This matchup, I feel like Buffalo, this is the game that Buffalo typically wins, the regular season game. Then when they face them in the playoffs or the championship game, that's where they kind of fall short. But I think also the Bills are kind of getting back on the right track as well. They won by 30 last week against the Panthers, but and when my Commanders face the Chiefs on Monday, Commanders was, kind of staying in there in the first half. It kind of maybe exposed some things with the Chiefs. We couldn't keep up with them, but I think the Bills will find a way to win this one. I'm going with Buffalo.
Okay.
And then speaking about my Commanders. All right, so we got my Commanders facing the Seattle Seahawks this week, and Seahawks being favored by 2.5. This game, we get our quarterback back. JD5 is playing, but we lose a wide receiver. Terry is injured again, injured his quad in that game against the Chiefs. We still have Debo, but still dealing with a lot of injuries. I think we have the most season-ending injuries so far in the league. We're just still trying to band-aid our team, but this is a game we have to have. We can't drop this game. Right now, I believe we're 3-5. So if we drop this game, you could kind of kiss those playoff hopes goodbye. And we're still facing a great team, great running team. They do some good things in the pass game as well. But we have to win. And hopefully with a good environment, we're retiring Art Monk's number, all this good stuff. Hopefully we can win this game. Of course, I'm going with the Commanders to pull this one out.
And of course, I'm going against the Commanders. I will say, like, with all the injuries, and you guys have, especially on the defensive end, the defensive line. It seems like you guys are always going against like a high-powered offense, and Seattle is no different than that with Darnold and Njigba, their ability to run the ball. I just, again, I think it's just going to be too much for the Commanders defense to handle. Not having Terry out there is a big hit, and so you're pretty much relying passing game wise on Ertz and Debo. Merritt could maybe get going early like he has in the past. But yeah, Seattle at home with the 6-man. I'm picking Seattle.
Yeah, it's gonna be a tough game as well. I like how you brought up like us facing these high-powered offenses, but it's like that's what you get when you do well in the season prior, even though you probably wasn't ready for it. But now you have to face a lot of these good teams the next year. So, but we need this one if we want to have any hopes this season. And finally, we have the Cardinals facing the Dallas Cowboys. Cowboys being favored by only 3.5, which is a little shocking. But how do you see this game?
Yeah, that spread's a little shocking to me. I don't know if Dallas has anybody out, but I also don't think it really matters. We were just talking about high-powered offense, and right there at the top of the league is Dak and CD and Pickens, and they're still running the ball well. Arizona, I can't even think about what they've really done this year. They've been, so far off my radar. But yeah, I like Dallas at home. I like Dallas on the road against this team. I don't really think it matters.
Yeah, personally, I hope that I'm wrong with this pick because the Eagles are in a bye and the Giants, hopefully they can lose. I need the Cowboys to also lose so my Commanders can try to make up some ground in that division. So hopefully I'm wrong with this pick because I'm also picking the Dallas Cowboys to win this one at home. I just don't see the Cardinals putting up enough offense and holding up against Dallas's offense. So I'm going with Cowboys in this one, but hopefully I'm wrong. If I am, I'm not mad that I got this one wrong. Alrighty, and a few teams on bye, like we said, your Browns, the Bucks, Eagles, and Jets. Jets need a bye.
No, I will say one thing. In years past, like on our bye week, we're like, oh, good, we can't lose this week. But like players get injured in practice. We've had like I think Johnny Manziel got arrested during a bye week. It's like we still find ways to lose bye weeks. I want no news of nothing coming out this weekend. And
speaking of no just a nice quiet bye week. But speaking of no news during the bye week, this to me this would have been a good week. I'm not sure who the Browns face after the bye week, but just to give
I think it's the
Shador,
Jets.
I'm like just to give Shador 2 weeks to get himself ready, and then if it's the Jets, I mean, what a game to kind of prepare for and come out against, with it being the Jets. So to me, if Dylan comes out in this game off a bye week and plays the Jets and look bad, something has to change. Like, yeah, that
Well,
just can't.
I don't know if you saw it or not. Shador was doing a video call with somebody, and they asked him if he was going back to Colorado for homecoming weekend. He said, "Oh no. He's like, I would love to be there, but I got to stay here." He's like, "I got to be ready, big ready." So maybe. So
and look who's at the game. He's a freaking liar. Because he's definitely but yeah, I saw that where he said he had to stay ready or get some treatment or whatever. But yeah, I mean, we'll see. But yeah, if Dylan comes off this bye week still looking how he was looking, they definitely need to consider it or make some coaching changes and figure it out. And speaking of changes, I know the Miami Dolphins, they made a change that in their with their GM, got rid of the GM this week, which was a surprise because we was all thinking that McDaniel would get the boot before the GM, but we'll see. Maybe if they lose this week, then the writing is on the wall for the coach as well.
Stephen A was going off about that. He was not happy. So
I don't like that he tried to make it like racial. I mean, that didn't make any sense.
No, that's just kind of his thing. I tend to notice, but
I mean, it was a bad team and probably a bad team that was put together. So I could see,
when you have a team that's struggling like that, the coach is right there involved in the mix, but then you got to kind of go up to the top and work your way down. And then whoever's coming, who's ever coming in to fill that spot, then you kind of let them, make those decisions, make those changes. But if Miami goes out and scores 6 or 9 points again, then McDaniel's just isn't the guy.
And the owners probably see it as you didn't get rid of the coach. If the GM probably would have fired the coach maybe a week or two ago, then it probably would have made him stay a few more weeks to show that he actually is trying to fix it. But you still let the coach stay on the team, and so they're like, okay, well maybe we value the coach more than you. Let's get rid of you, and then maybe see if the coach can figure it out. So, definitely a lot of crazy things going on in Miami. But yeah, that will do it for another episode of the Extreme Mediocrity Sports Show. Definitely give us a follow, subscribe to the channel, and hit the notification bell so you know the next time we drop another video or we go live. And as always, see you next time. Peace.
See you guys.